Joe.
Yeah, Chris.
Joe.
Yeah.
Joe. Guess what time it is?
What is it? Question time?
It's question time.
Oh yeah. Gotta love question time.
Number 1, I will grant you 1 superpower. 1. I don't know what the question is. I'm guessing the question is what would be the superpower?
That's cool. I mean, I'd answer a question if there was one, but that's cool. Thank you. I will take my 1 power.
I will take it.
If you want to know what my power is, I'll let you know. Do you want to know?
I don't think anybody cares. Let's move on. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
My power would be, if you're only going to give me 1 power, and I get to choose, my power would be the ability to give myself whatever power I want, whenever I want.
Oh, you dick.
I'm a dick. No, but if that wasn't an option,
I wish for more wishes.
Pretty much. But if there's like some rule that we have to follow that says I can't wish for that, it would be manipulation of space-time. That would make me happy.
You stole that from me because you know that's my dream.
I know that's your dream, but you know that's my dream. You know that's my dream.
We share our dreams.
And moving on.
Well, before we move on, that would be my superpower. It would be to be able to have full control over space and time. I could freeze time, slow it down. I could even bend space. That would basically give me time travel and teleportation.
So,
boom. I just punched the air because that was really a douchey thing to do.
So I was going to move on to the next question, but before I do, just slacking, man. Number 16 we did last week. Why is that not deleted? You're slacking. While you delete that, I'll ask the next question, which is, if you were stranded on a random planet, you can have John Chrichton or Daniel Jackson with you. Who and why?
Daniel Jackson. If you're stranded on a random planet, you're going to need to know the language. You're going to need somebody who's very good at figuring that kind of stuff out. And that's Daniel Jackson.
That's exactly my reason, because even if they don't speak anything remotely close to English, he will somehow look at them and be like, oh, I can understand that by their phonetics, that means this and this means that. I speak fluently now. That basically sums up every planet Daniel Jackson visits. And if I could take like post-season, what is it, like season 6, season 5, Daniel Jackson, and then he's also badass too, because that's when he started carrying a machine gun as well. It was like, he's just like, fuck it, I'm not going to carry around a little satchel anymore. Yeah. And he's just like, he has like a P90 now with him too, so I know he's got my back.
Do you wear pants during the show?
Seems a little personal. Pants.
I'm not exactly sure what pants are.
Yeah.
Is it something that we probably should be wearing when doing a show?
Well, if we should be wearing them, then my answer would be, kinda.
Is that why our show's not taking off, because we're not wearing these pants things?
Do they know? Like, are we only seeing part of the screen? Are they actually seeing the rest and know we're not wearing them? That would be embarrassing, actually.
I wonder if that camera that I have down there is actually doing things, because I wonder if it's broadcasting the wrong one.
Do you have the wrong camera on, Chris?
If you had to face a new Cyberman or a Weeping Angel, who would you fight and why?
Who would I fight and why? Well, probably a new Cyberman, because they walk like this. And Weeping Angel, like, it doesn't say whether it's like a dying Weeping Angel, if it's one with its full strength. If it's one with its full strength, you're not outrunning it. Those things move like you blink an eye and they're like... So
yeah, but I think when they said new Cybermen, they're talking about the new Cybermen. The ones that can move very, very quickly.
Well, maybe I'm more quicker than them. I'm not changing my answer, Chris.
Come on, Joe.
I'm not changing my answer.
On.
I will
kick
that Cyberman's ass. I will punch him in the cyber balls. I will take him by those little handlebars, bend him. No, you know what? I'm just going to stop there.
Next question.
Oh, no, I lost my headphones. They're back.
Next question.
Wait, you didn't answer that one.
I would fight...
Trying to get out of it.
I'd fight the Weeping Angel because I don't have to blink. Ever.
What'd you fight it with? Water? Just like put it under a waterfall for little roads? Not a bad idea. Just look at it forever.
Next question. If you guys met each other and had one day to spend, what would you do? Keep it clean.
Oh, damn it. I'm pretty sure beer and burgers would be included.
If it was here, we'd probably go to Fry's and just spend all day wandering around looking at electronics.
And if it was here, probably Best Buy. I don't really have any computer stores here, which sucks. And then beer. We'd go for like beer. Then we'd like go for beer. And then we'd like go to Fry's with beer. And then we'd pick up some beer. And then we'd get some burger and some beer. And
we might get some ice cream after the beer or before the beer.
During the beer?
Beer ice cream.
Beer float?
Beer float.
Favorite cookie? Snickerdoodle.
What?
Snickerdoodle.
Chocolate chip.
Snickerdoodle.
Chocolate chip.
Snickerdoodle.
I think we should move on. This is going to end badly. So say we
Snickerdoodle.
all, or make it so.
So say we all. What? Why make it so? So say we all.
I have to say make it so.
Oh, you gotta be different. You
know
gotta
what?
be different.
They were explorers. So say we all comes from fighters. I have to take the quote from the explorers.
Why?
Because they were explorers, man.
What did they explore?
To seek out new civilizations. To boldly go where no one has gone before.
But make it so.
Beautiful.
Sound like a dick. Like you just say something. It's like make it so. Or else. There's like an or else there, but not being said. It's like there.
It is implied that is the final statement. It is make it so.
Make it so.
Hey, my wife and I say that all the time. Make it so. Or we say pseudo make it so.
So, not really much of a question, but it's directed at both of us, so I guess we should both add our thoughts to this. Risket reminds me of my grandpa.
It's because I am your grandpa.
Oh. That actually brings up a lot of questions that I have now.
I'm 328. You don't think I have a lot of grandchildren? That I don't know about?
I was
No, you might be one of my great-great-grandchildren. In fact, you are. I didn't know how to tell you.
Well, this definitely wasn't the way. This is not how I imagined meeting my great-great-grandfather.
It's okay, you got a hug from Ms.Clever.
There we go.
I don't know why it's a question, but there you go.
I don't know either. It just says hugs, and it's directed at me. At me. Just to clarify the audience, you're not getting hugged. And neither is Chris. Because he's grandpa.
I'm grandpa. No one wants to hug old grandpa.
No, because he's got that hole in his pocket, and he says, reach for the lollipop. Go into a Scottish accent.
You figured me out. Which brings me to the next one. Someone told me that I've got to do more of the Scottish accent. Apparently.
Because it was hot.
I didn't realize I was doing it very well, but I'm not sure how long I'm supposed to keep this up, but we'll move on to the next one. This is the next... I lost my accent. It'll come back.
I want to skip this one and do this one last, because I have stuff to say about that one.
All right. Do you wear hats because you're bald?
Got a problem with bald people, man?
Actually, it's to hide a very important part of our alien physiology that you humans have a very difficult time accepting.
There's nothing wrong with antennas, man. There's nothing wrong with antennas.
Oh, yes, antennas. That's what's under there. It's antennas.
Yeah. Multiple. Antennae.
Would you like to move on to the very last question?
Very last question. I'm going to have a lot to say about this one. You
Very last question. Why do you guys bash Apple so much? Have you even tried them, or you can't afford them?
The thing that pisses me off the most about this question is that last part, or you can't afford them.
Yeah.
That sounds like a typical issue. Like, do you just hate them because you don't have the money to buy them, because they're expensive? It makes me want to say, are you just using it because they're expensive, so you think it's better? More money is better? We bash Apple. Well, actually, now that we have a tech show, we probably shouldn't be bashing Apple as much. We should probably be more professional.
I try to be more fair, and I try to give them props when due. My main problem with Apple is their attitude. I would have no problem with the tech. In fact, I have somewhere around here. I was trying to find it, but I don't have it. I have a Mac Mini right here.
Mm-hmm.
I have an old MacBook Pro laptop. I have a newer MacBook Pro laptop. I've used them.
I've used them too. It's like, have you ever tried them? And so I have actually, not only do I have to try them, I have to know how to use them every time they release a new operating system, the changes, because that's my job. My job is to demonstrate them and sell them to people. It's actually just, yes, what was yesterday, Saturday? Yeah. Just yesterday became a requirement for me now to go through Apple's certification process to know everything that their Genius bar is supposed to know or whatever. Like, it's actually not that hard. I was looking at it, it's like a 2.5-hour course if I do it straight through. So that Genius bar isn't too genius, but I'm going to be Apple certified, basically. And my problem isn't the tech. Can I not afford them? Probably not, but that's not the reason why.
Why
Although
would you want to
the
avoid
price is a big reason for why I don't choose them. I'm not going to pay $1,200 for something that probably costs them $500 to make. That's just ridiculous.
The loaded message there is that because they cost more, they have superior hardware. I was thinking in the reality.
Yeah.
But when you look at like the hardware, I mean, yes, the software works really well with the hardware. It's just the whole closed ecosystem mentality, the way the douchey way that they're all constantly like. It's just they just go after everybody who's like they act like I can't even. My brain is
and they try to make it sound like they came up with everything. That's one of my biggest problems with them is most of the things that they praise themselves on are things that they didn't even do.
Yeah.
For instance, they praise themselves, or used to, you don't hear it too much anymore, on the mouse. That was like their first big thing that they were like try to take credit for. They didn't make the mouse.
No, they stole it from Xerox.
Yeah, Xerox made the mouse, and Steve Jobs was at one of their things, and Xerox didn't take off. They didn't take off, and Steve Jobs was like, but that was a good idea. They might not have taken off, but that was a good idea, so he took it. And for some reason, Xerox sued him, and it didn't go through, but whatever. And then another thing they love to pride themselves on is OS X. Any OS before that, it would have been great for them to pride themselves on and be like, look what we gave you. OS X is Unix. It's BSD2 that Steve Jobs bought when he was kicked out of Apple for running the company in the wrong direction. And he was doing a good job with it. So I was like, hey, Steve, come on back and bring that with you. And that's what it is.
Have you used it before OS X, before OS X? It was crap because that was what they did themselves. And then finally they were like, we do not know what we're doing. Let's just use Unix and just, make it our own.
They did do a great job of making Unix their own. They took Unix and they made it their own. It is a very solid platform. If it wasn't for I'm not going to spend $1,400 on something I could get with Windows for $6, I'd buy a Mac just for my productivity. I honestly would. If it wasn't for that and the big, huge Apple that you can't get off of it, you have to have that big, huge Apple.
Yeah. All right, should we move on to just so the questions thing doesn't go on too long?
Just wrap up real quick. That's the reason why we don't like Apple, but I would use their computers if it wasn't for the fact that it's not overpriced for the hardware that's in it. And as for the iPhone, I think that is great for people who need that. But if you care about customization, if you care about control of your phone, Android is the way to go. But I don't think iPhone is a bad operating system. It's not glitchy. It's not bad. It's just not at all what I need at all. It doesn't touch upon my needs.
And see, I don't have a problem with BlackBerry or Windows Phone. I mean, I don't think anybody's buying Windows Phone. I wouldn't use Windows Phone. If I would buy a BlackBerry and try it. But it's like I don't have a problem with any of these other things. I have a problem with the way Apple does things. Like, I'm fine with them all coexisting. If Apple would just stop being such a bunch of assholes, I'd be perfectly fine with them. It's just I just don't want to support them because I don't want to support their mentality. The
biggest thing I hate about Apple is that they were actually allowed to patent Retina display. All Retina display is, they chose a resolution, and like, this is going to be our resolution. No one else can use it. That's all they did. They picked a resolution size.
It's not even the best resolution available.
It's not, especially now. It was back then, but they're still using it. And
it was for, what, 2 months?
Yeah. And they're like, we're going to patent that, and nobody else can use this select resolution, which looks weird when you put it in landscape mode anyway, so no one wants it. But we're done with questions. We're way over our 5 minutes, probably. We're not even using timers this week.
Yeah, I just threw the timer out.
We're not using timers this week.
Apple's a big bunch of dirty heads.
Submit us questions, because next week we want to answer more of them. We will be posting in the link, the description, our websites, everywhere, how to submit questions. Teklian.TV. Do it.